3, 2, 1. Welcome, guys, to episode. I don't even fucking know. You guys been keeping up with my episodes? What episode is it? Anyone? Damn, maybe I should know what episode I'm shooting, huh? Give me a second here, guys. Give me a second here. We are on. Jesus Christ. We're going to get to that right now, you know? We're going to talk about what's going on with my... Welcome to episode 7 of If Whiskey Talked. And as you can tell by my... What did I tell you guys? Huh? Back in episode 2. While everybody was, not focusing on what I told you guys to focus on, it happened. And I told you guys that it was going to happen. And it's pretty incredible. Honestly, I was just talking out of my ass. And it's incredible to see that the how big this has gotten, how crazy this has gotten. And I'm gonna talk my shit, I'm gonna say what I gotta say. I'm gonna give you guys some facts. If you wanna believe those facts, good. If you don't, fast forward. But thank you guys for joining me. Episode 7 of If Whiskey Talked. I'm your messiah. I told you back in episode 2. I told you guys what was going to happen. I told you guys to pay attention, to not sleep on the situation. And some of you guys told me, I've been sleeping on that situation. I really don't pay any mind to it. And now here we are. It's knocking in your front door, and it's pretty incredible what it's become to. I don't even know where to start. There's just so much has happened in a matter of a week. Literally, it's been a week, and it's so much fucking unraveled. But it's pretty incredible. Where to start? I guess I want to start here at home. Houston currently is sitting at, I don't know, 17, 15 cases in Houston, Montgomery, Fort Bend County area, newly one in Galveston. I think the number is fake news. And the reason being is that I honestly, first of all, Donald Trump is took the situation completely terrible. He has done a shit job. He has done nothing, basically. And in a way, today I heard a press conference from Sylvester Turner, and in a way, he just reminded me of Trump. And the way he's handling the situation, I didn't see any sense of urgency to care for Houstonians, dude. And it kind of pissed me off. I think the city of Houston's handling this the way the whole country is handling this, The fact that they've conducted more tests within the Utah Jazz's Association compared to the state of Utah itself is incredible. I know that's a little bit off, but it goes to show that I don't think we're doing enough in the communities to be. Obviously, you don't want to alarm people. You don't want to scare people, which is too late. We are out there treating this like it's a fucking hurricane. First of all, why do people have to buy so much water? I know a lot of people are talking about the toilet paper thing. Why do people have to buy so much water? Don't you guys don't have a fridge with water? And if you don't, boil some fucking water. It's not a hurricane. It's not gonna shut off our electricity. It's not gonna ruin our water supply. I mean, unless they inject it into the water and then make it waterborne or something. But which brings me to my next point. Well, let me finish with the Houston thing. I think the number is fake because I don't think that we have enough tests going around. We haven't tested enough people to have a real number. Okay, think about it. In a matter of a week, the state of Washington was, I think it's one of the worst hit areas in the United States, and they within I think their cases just skyrocketed, and I think that should go for any major city. So think about this. One of the guys that was infected attended the rodeo cook-off. So okay, so you're at the cook-off. You're sitting in his tent with at least 100 people, and from there, just imagine you're drunk, you're drinking, you're shaking hands, you're hugging with a significant other. Maybe you're sharing a cup, and here's one thing: the city of Houston, I think it's pissing me off too. Wash your hands. This shit is, I don't think they've actually explained it enough that this is airborne. This is it's in the air. You can't control the air that you breathe. And I mean, obviously, unless you're wearing a mask. But even then, I heard an interview with Michael Osterholm, who is the director of the SIDRAP, who basically was saying that you can wear a mask, but it's not very effective because most of you don't even realize that there's different masks that you can wear. So, for instance, there's a surgical mask. The surgical mask is just a mask that you kind of cover your mouth and your nose that surgeons use, and it just kind of loops around your ear. So the surgical mask still, it's from preventing a surgeon from coughing or sneezing with an open wound or something like that. And the thing about these masks is there's still pockets where air can get in, which makes these masks ineffective to what we're dealing with because it is airborne. So you're sitting in front of somebody who's infected. You might not even know that person's infected because of the incubation period of this virus. That person is still contagious within the first 4, I was going to say business days, within the first 4 days of being contaminated or whatever, infected. That person cannot be showing symptoms and still infect you. It's still infected. So when you're breathing the same air, that air gets into those pockets of the surgical mask. Sorry. And then there's the N95 mask, which is some of the masks that you'll be seeing doctors using stuff. Kind of has this brace on your nose and everything. It'd be a little bit more effective. But most of you don't even realize that and are walking around with surgical mask or something and don't realize that you're still breathing the same air. So that goes for that. I don't even know where that came from. I was talking about, they're just telling you to wash your hands and everything. Like, if that was the case, don't you think this would have slowed down a long time ago? As soon as people were told to wash their hands, I think this would have slowed down, right? But it's not. It's continuing to spread. And unless the city of Houston shuts down and we all go into quarantine, and this is another statistic that's been pissing me off. We're closing things down, major gatherings and everything for 2 weeks. Okay? 2 weeks. The idea of having a vaccine, it's 12 to 18 months away. Okay, 2 weeks will slow it down. Maybe gives time for, the health department to get out, sanitize the whole city in 2 weeks, and maybe make it a bit safer. Maybe bring down the amount of cases, or the amount of interaction and everything. Um, but even then, okay, say these 2 weeks are over. Say we slowly start, populating the city again. These 2 weeks are over. But what if, we're let out one day, many people aren't experiencing any kind of symptoms. They get released back into the general public. Everybody gets out into the public. And then 4 days later, these people are sick, and now they've infected plenty of other people. You get what I'm saying? So 2 weeks, I don't think 2 weeks will sustain this. I mean, of course, I'm not an expert, and I'm just talking from things that I've heard, things that I've read. Um, I've been watching CNN, whatever. I've been watching the news, the fake news. Clearly, the media does over exaggerate things and whatever. But I have been reading other sources and everything, and I like to myself, figure out what's really going on and what's not. Okay. So like I said, with the whole washing your hands thing, it's not just a matter of washing your hands. It's a matter of not breathing the air of somebody who's infected. If we come close in contact and breathe the same air as somebody who's infected, you're gonna get sick. And it's unfortunate. So I really wish they'd put that out there a little bit more than just washing your hands, which, don't get me wrong, is an important piece of it, but it goes further than that. There's more out there to it, and I really don't like how the city of Houston is doing that. um, Moving on to my next point. Let me go into what I've heard when I heard Michael Osterholm speak on the Joe Rogan podcast, which was so good. It was very informative. I do believe that some of you should watch it. Doesn't he doesn't want to. He says we shouldn't scare people out of their wits. We should scare people into their wits, which means making people aware and have real talk. Not this over exaggerated or super plain downplay of what's going on. We need straight facts. I think what's wrong with society now in 2020 is that we are not danger whores, but don't get me. I'm probably one of these people. We see this as an event. I don't know how many of you can relate with me on that. But when you think about, oh shit, we're gonna go into quarantine. We're gonna eat snacks. We're gonna fucking watch Netflix all day. We're gonna just sit on the couch. We're gonna lay down. We're gonna not go to work. A lot of us, it's sad to say, but we see this as a fun event in a way. I get on social media and some of you are talking about, oh, it's going to suck to be locked in your room or locked in your house and blah, blah, blah. But in a way, that's like, we're excited for it. We're excited to see what it's about, And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The only thing that's wrong with it is that it's part of the masses. I think the majority of the society feels that way. So what this does is that we all tend to over exaggerate what's going on. Even me. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen that I've been talking shit. I've been blasting things on internet, on Twitter. I've been retweeting. I've been liking. I've been commenting, and it's because of that. It's part of our culture where we think things like this, though dangerous, though severe, we tend to get excited because, you know, the whole internet is talking about it and now we're going to be a part of it. You know, that's just how I see it. Um, I don't know how many of you feel that way. Um, I'm kind of ashamed to say that that's how I am. That's how I think about it. Um, it's FOMO. It's, you know, it's a fear of missing out. It's, oh my god, everybody's at the grocery store buying all this shit. Let me go buy all this shit too, because, you know, I mentioned in my last episode, a lot of us are kudas. We like shiny things. We run to it. When everybody's doing one thing, we all want to do it. And we can thank, I think, the era of social media for putting us there. You know, it sucks because, man, just imagine if this was all happening and we didn't have social media. What would this be as big as it is right now? Will we be freaking out just as much, or would people be exaggerating just as much? Who knows? You know, who knows? Anyways, back to what I was speaking about, Ulster Michael from the Sid rap, which, hold on, let me remember what that means. Somewhere in the University of Minnesota. It's the Center of Infectious Disease Research and Policy. Michael Osterholm is a director there, and he's dealt with different cases. What he does is basically investigates the cases and figures out where it came from, kind of. So I think one of the things that's making this so serious is that our healthcare system just kind of sucks, and this something of this magnitude is just going to overwhelm our healthcare system. Hospitals, clinics, they're not prepared. I promise you, they're not prepared. So right now, everything seems under control. Everything's okay, except for grocery stores and everything, which is our fault. But once we get all these tests in that we've been told are going to come in, as the week progresses. Monday, it's Friday. I don't know why we have to wait 2 days. Once we get all these tests that we say we're going to get in and start testing more people, you are going to be surprised at the numbers that are going to just skyrocket as far as cases. All right. Some of them too late, you know. I believe our healthcare system lacks in supplies. I don't think we're prepared for it at all as far as a healthcare system. But moving forward, when comparing what's happening in our situation to what happened in China, what you need to see is different demographics and data. For instance, Osterholm explains how in China, an older male in China is very likely to be a smoker, and it's about I want to say 60%. Okay, so about 60% of the male population is older and smokes. Okay, and what that does, you know, obviously it's a big what's it called? Man, I lost my train of thought. It's a big effect on your lungs. And what this is an upper respiratory infection. With weak lungs, you know, this is just going to absolutely devastate you, okay? So that's why we're seeing, in China, we're seeing so many high numbers in older males. So comparing that to the United States now, I believe he threw a number of about 45%. 45% of the population is 50 or older and is obese or severely obese. So they're saying that being obese and at this age causes the same effects on your heart and your system as a younger smoker in China would be, who constantly smokes. So that's where we're getting these numbers of older people being infected easier and are eventually dying because they are already dealing with um, underlying diseases, underlying effects that have came on from you know their life and everything. Um, uh, he goes on to say, we start comparing this. This is the other thing. This is one other thing that has been pissing me off. First of all, I don't know. I might have had the flu before. I've never had a flu shot in my life. And I don't think I've ever had the flu. And if I did, I brush that shit off. I've never had to go to the doctor and have been told that I have the flu. A lot of you people are wanting to continuously compare this to the flu, and a lot of experts have already said this is not the fucking flu. This is not blow your nose for a week kind of thing. They're saying that at the end of this, because it's still so new and there's still so many numbers being developed, the only thing they can do is basically approximate that this is going to be 10 to 30 times worse than the flu, which is at a 0.1% mortality rate. Okay, so this is going to be way worse than that. And I need people to understand that. I don't understand why people don't understand that. And right now, they're saying that it's about a 2 to 3% mortality rate as far as the COVID-19. With China kind of slowing down and everything, some of the data that's been coming out of there, they're looking at 5 to 10% mortality rate on there. So that should go. You should be able to take that into perspective and say, what the fuck, like, this is serious. It's not. It really isn't a game. Just, I think it's pretty incredible. Well, I've been talking for a good amount of time. I'm gonna go ahead and gather my thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and take a break, and I'll be right back. Thank you guys for sticking with us. So where was I? I was going on a rant. How are you guys doing? Shut up, damn dog. Before I continue, I do want to say that I hope you guys are being safe and being smart about everything that's going on, and not being stupid. I know some of you guys think this is a fucking joke. Some of you guys are out here, still going out to large crowds and everything, going out to drink and stuff. Which, don't get me wrong, I was planning on going out for a drink and everything tomorrow or something. But don't be an idiot, man. Don't be an idiot just because you're trying to be cool. Don't go out there and do things that aren't necessary. Especially at a time like this. Like, stay home, get drunk at home, get high at home, do what you got to do at home. The more we limit ourselves, the more we wait for, the more we go ahead and take initiative ourselves, the less effect it'll have in the long run. And I promise, just going out there and exposing yourself. Think about the situation with Rudy Gobert. This man was making a joke out of it, touched every microphone at his presser. 2 days later is sick. I promise you, nobody in that room was showing any kind of side effects. You just don't know where this thing is at, You'll never really know where it's at. You'll never know if you're truly safe. We were at the grocery store yesterday picking up some groceries, and we were standing there waiting in a huge-ass line, and then all of a sudden, it all came to me. Like, I didn't think too much about it until then, and I saw all these people in there. How many people have been through that store in the last 2 days, in the last 3 days? It's scary once you sit and realize that you can't. This is a something you can't see. Okay, maybe some of us might get it and recover. Great, good for you guys. But think about the fact that maybe you get infected, you come home, you don't even know, you get your parents infected. Now, if your parents are older, then what? Now your parents are more susceptible to this. There's a higher chance that they're gonna pass from this. So why do that? Why put people at risk that don't need to be put at risk? I'm just saying, man, be smart about this. If you don't gotta be out there, don't be out there. Don't be in large crowds. I know some of you guys think it's cool, like, fuck it, let's go out, let's go into a large group, let's go drink, let's do this. One of the things they tell you to do is slow down your drinking. Sorry. Because slowing down, continuing to drink, obviously, if you're binge drinking, it's really what they're looking at. But stay hydrated, man. Drink water. Eat good. Stay at home, rest. The more your body's prepared for this, the better it'll go for us. Okay? That's all I can really say about that. Do y'all? I don't give a fuck, honestly, if you get sick. But take care of yourselves, man. Why are some of you even still listening to this? Anyways. Moving forward. One of the other things that's been affecting us a lot is that we just came out of a flu season, and it was a pretty moderate one. It wasn't very severe, but some people are coming out of what just having the flu. Those people getting the flu again, immune system is down. It can be tough, man. It can be really tough. So if you're one of those people that came down with the flu, definitely take care of yourself. And I'm just going through this article. It just kind of gives you guys some facts on what's going on. Give me a second. Damn dog doesn't know how to be good. What else I got for you guys? I don't know. We could be, a lot of people, something else a lot of people are saying is that once the summer, once the spring, once it gets warmer, it'll be all better. It's not, man. This isn't what it's about. This isn't a regular flu. This shit's gonna thrive in the heat. It's not anything like that. It's not something it's a season, One of the ways that the director of the SIDRAP explained it is that some people think it's gonna change, with a month. But it's not. This is here for the next few months. And we just gotta hunker down, man. Like I was saying earlier, we can't wait for directions. We ourselves have to be able to realize that we're exposing ourselves to danger. And we have to take initiative to be able to make the right decisions and think what's best for us. The city of Houston doesn't care for you. They really don't. Sylvester Turner isn't worried about, isn't worried about you and your family. He's worried about the money. And a lot of you people who've been talking about conspiracies and stuff like that, um, talk about how it's a cover up for, you know, the economy and stuff like that. Like, yeah, like don't get me wrong, the economy was in a terrible state. And this is going to take a big toll on businesses, on taxes, on a lot of things, infrastructure and stuff like that. It's going to take a big toll in it. But we can't be worrying about, oh, is this a cover up? Oh, is this a conspiracy? This is a conspiracy. We got to worry about, shit, am I going to be okay? My people going to be okay? You know, we got to worry about each other as a community, because if we wait for the city of Houston, if we wait for homeboy in a wheelchair to take care of Texas, if we wait for Donald Duck to take care of the country, man, shit ain't gonna get done. It's not. We have to be able to take the steps necessary to take care of ourselves before it really does go downhill from here. Like I was saying previously, how I've been saying on Twitter the whole week is, as the days go by, this is going to intensify. Okay, and I don't think it's anything maybe to get too freaked out about, but it's gonna get bad. I think there might be panic. I don't know if I haven't been thinking too much about how martial law will be implemented into all this. Once they start implementing curfews, once they start implementing total quarantine, I don't know if they're gonna go ahead and call the National Guard in to roam the streets. This can all be what a lot of conspiracy theories call a false flag, where it's a test ran by military personnel to go ahead and test out different scenarios, such as the Boston bombers, such as 9/11, things like that. Could be false flags just to test the infrastructure of the military and to see how it responds to total shutdown, total takeover of civilization. I don't know where to go from there, man. It's I'm scared. I'm not freaking out, but I working at a bank and everything, dealing with customers walking in and out, dealing with money that I don't know where. Don't get me wrong, it only survives on the money for, they say, about 3 hours or so, but say that money moved quick, say that money went from infected person to one person to me, then shit, I'm out of luck. But I just think those who aren't taking it too serious should take it a little more serious, and those who are taking it too serious, just tone it down a bit. Let's meet somewhere in the middle. Let's, like I said, let's work as human beings. We should work together to be able to continue to move forward. Definitely not put each other down. There's no point in putting other people down. Don't call people crazy. Don't call people. Well, people do turn into assholes nowadays, especially during situations like this. But I definitely think, especially with the weekend coming up, I think a lot of you should think twice about gathering. Who knows? I'm gonna be out and about tomorrow morning and or Saturday morning, going to work. I'm gonna see how the public is. It's I feel like there's just so many mixed feelings, so many mixed signals going on with the situation, where a lot of people are thinking, and that's the other thing that I feel, that some people think they're cool because they're acting like they don't care, like they're acting like this isn't the big issue. And then there's people who are overreacting, who think it's cool. Let me overreact. Let me stock up with everybody else. Yeah, go buy groceries. Go buy food for 2 weeks. Okay? And sit down and wait. Wait it out. One other interesting thing I wanted to explain to you guys, why I could possibly think that the government's in on it. These cruise ships, the way they explained it, these cruise ships were a terrible human experiments with this going around. These people who were on the ships for days and weeks should have been pulled off immediately in quarantine. What's happening is that these people are sitting in a ship that air is being constantly ventilated and circulated, and just infecting these people like crazy. I think it's pretty sad that these people had to endure that kind of suffer. They definitely should have been, taken care of a little bit better. It definitely sucks to know that these people, were on a vacation and had to come home and, had to deal with all this. It definitely sucks. That's pretty much all I really had for today. Just kind of wanted to give my input on what's going on and everything. I don't know. Like, where do we go from here? So let's say we do go into quarantine. They shut down the city, right? God damn, I can't believe I was talking about this on episode 2, and that was like 2 months ago, a month ago. I don't know how long ago. I don't know, but I talk about this on episode 2, I believe. And it's so crazy how at that point we were just kind of talking about how it'd be crazy if it spread, and now it's here, dude. Now it's a full-on pandemic. It's just a crazy thing that we're in 2020 and that we're living through this. I know this episode was kind of dark, kind of slow. I didn't really have anything else planned except for coming in here and kind of just talking about the situation, man. It's something that we should definitely be talking about. Spreading around information, correct information, nothing false. One of the things that I saw was that HEB, was kind of tweeting about how they're going to alter their hours. From what I think is that that's a step moving forward towards quarantining us, shutting down the city. These stores start saying, you know what, maybe we should start cutting down the hours, cutting down the amount of time of people interacting in the store. I think that's a beginning. I think that's a start. That's definitely a start to what's coming, what's about to happen. Another thing that I was thinking about is that, what about the older community in Houston that, say someone older did get sick and lives alone? What if that person went home, wasn't able to get out of the bed, and had nobody? What if they're passed in their house? That's another thing that you guys need to think about. That, yeah, these numbers are low right now. Oh my God, like, nothing's really happening, blah blah blah. But think about the people that haven't been tested. Think about the people that could be dead in their home right now from this, and we don't even know. One of the things that I was reading the other day was from Italy, that they feel that the government has abandoned them. This guy was trapped in a room with his sister's body because the virus just completely shut down everything that's been going on. I think about that. We are just getting ready to begin on that. And who knows where it's going to go from here. You know? Right now we might be dealing with low percentages of death rates, twos maybe. But looking at Italy, they're up to 7% right now, which for me I think is a pretty big number. It's a pretty huge number. The government, we can't rely on them anymore. It's we are not what they care about right now. They're worried about their economy. They're worried about the market. They're worried about the money they're losing. For instance, today's press conference, Donald Trump came out 30 minutes late, and he invited a bunch of CEOs. And in a time where we need more information, where we need more facts, this man decided to bring CEOs of Walmart, Target, Whole Foods, CVS, and let them speak. And what did they say? They said absolutely nothing that's going to benefit us. But I bet you Donald Trump received great amounts of donations from them. So that's that. And more enlightening news, SeaWorld finally closed down. We should just keep that shut down. We'll see how that goes. Maybe they will stay shut down. Did y'all see the thing with the Brazilian president? Isn't that shit crazy? He goes from, there's articles running around saying that he tested positive, and then eventually, from one day to the other, he tested negative. It's incredible. The corruption in Brazil is just as good as the corruption in the United States. Can't believe that. What else? In other news, the United States also killed another Iranian military commander while everybody was worried about something else. That's crazy. It's pretty. The other thing that kind of made me sad, it didn't hit me until I saw that a Chelsea player was affected by it. But these soccer players that are being affected by the situation, it sucks, man. It's pretty sad to see. But hey, at least there was a test automatically open for them, right? There was a test waiting for them. They got their results right away. They were able to catch that shit real quick. God forbid we lose celebrities. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know why I continue to talk on this. I don't like most of you. One great example on Twitter that I had the other day was that Ohio out of nowhere just reported that they were estimating 100,000 people to have corona. And that's incredible. Just imagine Houston. I'm pretty sure we are in the thousands of people infected, and I don't know so what if, for instance, Houstonians are just so strong that it's not affecting us so much? What if we're mutated? What if Houston's mutated? That'd be pretty crazy, man. The coronavirus would probably be looking at us like,
a what? Oh fuck.
Yeah, just like that. Oh fuck.
A what? Oh fuck.
Man, that's some crazy shit. Did y'all see that shit with Donald Trump on C-SPAN, man? That man did not know they were recording. Poor man. They got that man in his vulnerable stage. I'm done, man. Fuck it. We're probably all gonna die from coronavirus. We're all gonna get it. So it's just a matter of time. They said the director of the Sid rap. He said one of the ways that we're gonna slow this down is if we all get it. But just imagine we wait for everybody to get it, and say the death rate does rise up to 5%, 10%. Fuck it, right? 10% of the United States population. It's about time we emptied out New York, right? I think that'd be pretty crazy if we just let everybody get infected and create the antibodies necessary to fight off such a virus like this. But then again, who knows? Maybe they do have the vaccine out there, and maybe they're just hiding it from us. Maybe this is all a test, part of the simulation, to keep us on check. Keep us on our feet, keep us moving. But anyways, man, this episode's done. Had a great time, guys. I really enjoyed being able to. I enjoy every week being able to speak my mind, to give you guys the input. I know I say this every week, but definitely next week, I want to have a guest on. I don't know who yet. I'm gonna make some arrangements, and then maybe I'll announce it in the middle of this week. See who I'm gonna have on. With the whole thing going on and everything, I don't know if we want to have outsiders in the home, but I definitely like to have a conversation with somebody, in regard to this, especially if we go like in the scary or quarantine situations. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys again for, if you were listening to this, if you got this far, I do want to thank you for joining me. Tell me how you feel. I'm going to go ahead and post this on Twitter. Tell me how you feel under that. In the comments, let me know. Say what you got to say. We'll address it next week. I hope you guys do stay safe. I hope you guys do what you need to do to prevent any kind of danger. I hope a lot of us start thinking with our heads instead of our fucking egos, because some of us don't do that enough. Haven't followed us on Twitter? Follow me on Twitter, at Whiskey Talked. If you have any questions that you want me to answer, if you have any suggestions, email me if whiskeytalked@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, subscribe to this, hit the like button, and check out the rest of our episodes. I do appreciate everybody who's been listening every week. My homies, shout out, fuck y'all. But yeah, that's that for this week, and I hope you guys stay safe. Wash your hands, and stay out of crowded spaces, and we'll see you guys next week. Cheers.